all distinguished guests here present. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
It is indeed an honor to be here this morning. And I thought I'll just take a bit of time to introduce my team from the embassy because these are your first point of contact when we do the B2B. Ms. Asa, if you can just wave to the crowd, they see you. And then Poland. Sitting all the way at the back. Stand up, Leslie, they can. Part of the team, please make sure as we are moving around to chat with them to take their cards for follow-up. But as already has been stated by Mr. Field, I first and foremost want to express my appreciation to him to having invited me here, but for seeing the vision and continuing to do a better world for our children. I am always quick to state that my generation and those older than myself, we are somewhat of a lost generation because during our age we didn't have the internet, we couldn't connect as fast to each other. When I was here a student 33 years back, we are still talking about the Africa of the Tarzans and swinging from tree to tree. Now the younger generation know better. They read, they study, they hear about the news, they do the research, they are able to go onto Google and walk in the city of Gaborone, which is the capital city of Botswana. As you have heard, I am from Botswana. I am not from Africa. Because if I say to you, I'm from Africa, out of the 53 plus countries, you won't know exactly where I am from. So today, all of you are educated. You are not going to talk like CNN and say there is Ebola in Africa. When that comes through, if you wanted to go to Botswana or to South Africa or to Namibia, you might be tempted to cancel your ticket to say because there is Ebola in Africa. I love the solidarity of Africa to be seen as one. But I also love the distinction because every country is different. Every country has a different history. Every country has a different culture. Every country has a story to tell. So today I'm going to be telling the Botswana story. But before I do that, you will be aware that a lot of the African countries take after their colonial masters. If you go to Senegal, to Mali, to Cote d'Ivoire, you are going to meet people who don't speak English but speak French as their main language. If you go to Mozambique or you go to Angola, you are going to find people who speak Portuguese as their main language. Come down to the south and to Botswana, you are going to find us speaking English because our colonial masters were the British. But unlike other African countries, we became a British colony by choice. By choice. We went to Britain and said, please come and protect us in the 1800s. Why? Because we did not want to be incorporated and swallowed into South Africa. For purposes of geography, Botswana sits on top of South Africa. It's a land-linked country, sharing the borders with South Africa, with Zimbabwe, the then Rhodesia, with Namibia, the then Southwest Africa, and with Zambia at the top. So you will notice that Namibia, South Africa, and Zimbabwe were practicing racial discrimination of one form or the other. And here is Botswana in the center, which wasn't practicing racial discrimination. The importance of that is that people from these oppressed countries would run to Botswana. We opened our borders, and they would run to us, mixed couples would also come and marry in Botswana and then live like husband and wife in Botswana, go back to their countries and pretend that the wife was the maid working and sitting in the backyard because she couldn't sit there, she couldn't be allowed to be there. So this is why you cannot tell the Botswana story without telling the neighboring country's story. This is why when you also look at the successes of Botswana, it's also partly because we opened our borders. The people who were involved in their countries about the liberation movement, most of them were educated people. So they brought the education also to us in Botswana, because at independence in 1966, we didn't have more than 4 graduates in the whole country. But we benefited from the Zimbabwean teachers. We benefited from the South African teachers. Now, at independence in 1966, there was less than 4 kilometers, not miles, kilometers of tarred road. Today, if you Google Botswana, and Botswana was the 3rd poorest country in the world. And then we discovered diamonds. We are who we are because of diamonds. And to Americans, when I say diamonds, they say, oh, conflict diamonds. No, Botswana is more peaceful than the United States. So says the Global Peace Index. When you check the Global Peace Index, you'll find that Botswana ranks as number 33 in the world, whilst the U.S. ranks as number 101. So we are more peaceful. Our police don't carry guns, but we enforce the law. There are 2 areas where you get into trouble with the police, where they almost shoot to kill. When you want to mess up with diamonds, or you want to mess up with wildlife. Because outside diamonds, our next biggest resource is tourism. This is why it is relevant today for me to be here. With our diamond revenues, we provide free education to our people, from primary to university inclusive. We also provide free health care. So the Obamacare, Medicaid, Mediwat will not arrive in Botswana because we cover our people. We also, for any person in Botswana who is 65 and older, they get a monthly allowance from the government. It is not based on any means test, it's just based on age. So I am quickly creeping to that. We are a population of 2 million, and with the B2B, the Okavango Delta, which is the tourist product of Botswana, has been granted a heritage status by UN, by UNESCO. It means it's going to be protected. We run a very high environment protection, not just in the Delta, but everywhere. In Botswana, you've noticed that, especially in the tourist area, you can't pick anything, neither can you drop anything. If you are pressed and you need to go to the bush, we give you a little special bag so that you can go there, you finish what you're doing, you put in the bag, you bring it back to the car. That's how high we take tourism. It has been set now by those